Students, welcome to the subject software engineering. At present, we are studying requirement engineering process. In this, we have already finished one topic, that is feasibility studies. Today, we will take next topic, that is requirement elicitation and analysis. Requirement and analysis is the second sub process in the requirement engineering process. So point number 1, after feasibility studies, the next sub process is requirement elicitation and analysis. So students, we have studied earlier the requirement engineering process model. In that case, requirement elicitation and analysis is the next activity after feasibility studies. Point number 2, in this activity, software engineers work with customers and system end users to find out 1. About the application domain. 2. Services should the system provide. 3. The required performance of the system. And 4th, hardware constraints and so on. So in this requirement elicitation and analysis activity, we have to work, software engineers have to work with the customers and system end users and get more information about the application domain or the functionality and what services the end users expect from the system. Also, what is the required performance, what is the accuracy required, what is the response time, all this should be considered. And even the hardware constraints or hardware limits facility available in the organization. Next, stakeholders in the requirement elicitation. Requirement elicitation and analysis may involve variety of people in the organization. So as you know, there are different types of people or different departments working in the organization. Point number 2, stakeholders is any person or group who will be affected by the system directly or indirectly. So students, the meaning of the stakeholder is any person or group of people who will be affected by introduction of the new system. They could be affected directly or indirectly. Who are these stakeholders? They are end users who interact with the system. 2nd, engineers who develop and maintain the system. Business managers and domain experts. So these are different category of end users or stakeholders. The process model for elicitation and analysis is available. 1. Each organization shall have its own version of the general process model. Model adopted depends on local factors such as expertise of the staff, the type of system being developed, and 3rd, the standards used. So there is general process model for elicitation and analysis, but the organization may have its own version which could be modified. Then this model depends upon the factors such as how expert are the staff available in the organization, what system is built, what is the function of the system, is it built for marketing, is it built for production or accounts department, and all this, and the standards used. Point number 3, but the model shall be spiral so that the activities shall be interleaved as the process proceeds from inner to outer ring of the spiral. So students, the model adopted is spiral in nature, and various activities are interleaved. Okay, and we move from inner circle or to the outer circle. This diagram shows the requirements elicitation and analysis process model. So it begins with the requirements discovery. Okay, and you move from inner ring to outer ring. So first activity is the requirement discovery. Following that, once we get lot of information in this activity, you move to requirements classification and organization. In this case or in this sub activity, you collect the information, classify them, put them in the order. Okay, all these functions takes place in requirement classification and organization. Next phase is requirements prioritization and negotiation. Different stakeholders are there, their requirements are different. Each one wants to that his requirement must get priority. In this case, system developers should negotiate and speak to different stakeholders and come to common conclusion regarding the system functionality. The last phase is requirements documentation. In this requirement documentation, you have to write all the details, whatever details you have come or to the conclusion as a part of the document, so that this can be useful. After writing the requirements documentation, it marks beginning of the next spiral. So what are the process activities? One is requirements discovery. Second, requirements classification and organization. Third, requirements prioritization and negotiation. And fourth activity is requirements documentation. Now we will consider all these process activities in detail one by one. First, requirements discovery. This is the process of interacting with the stakeholders in the system to collect the requirements. Yes, in this phase or in this process, the system developers speaks to every stakeholder and collect lot of information from them. As well, you collect their requirements. Domain requirements from the stakeholders and documentation are also required. So what is the domain requirement? What is the functions they expect from, that is the stakeholders, and what is the documentation part of it is also understood in this requirement discovery activity. Next, the second activity is requirements classification and organization. This activity takes the unstructured collection of requirements. So whatever requirements you have gathered in the first phase, all these are unstructured in nature. Second, identifies overlapping requirements from the different groups. So students, you know there are different stakeholders in the organization. They put forward their requirements, but sometimes it happens that the requirements of one group is similar to requirement of other group. In such a case, overlapping requirements takes place. You have to identify those overlapping requirements. Third, groups related requirements and organize them in a coherent cluster. So these requirements that you have collected should be grouped under various categories, and you should organize them as a cluster so that it is easy to understand and read. Third activity, requirements, prioritization and negotiation. Point number 1. Inevitably, where multiple stakeholders are involved, requirements will conflict. Yes, this point is very true, because when there are different types of stakeholders and they are putting forward their requirements, the requirements would definitely conflict. Point number 2. This activity is concerned with prioritizing the requirements and resolving requirements conflicts through the negotiation. So in this activity, we put the priority, which department or which function should be given more priority, and we resolve the conflicts amongst the stakeholders by discussion and negotiation. Fourth, requirement documentation. In this activity, the requirements are documented and input into the next round of the spiral. So in this activity, students, the requirements are noted down properly, and these requirements become the input to the next round of the spiral. Point number 2. Formal or informal requirements documents may be produced. So the documentation part can be taken as formal or informal manner. Point number 3. The requirements may be documented as tables in a document or on the cards. As you know, students, requirements often are to change. Every day the people will come with different requirements. So if they are written on the cards, it would be better. Or if they are put in the table format, it is easy to understand. Fourth, writing requirements on cards can be effective as it is easy to handle, change and organize. If you write requirements as a part of lengthy document, it is difficult to change. But if you write in terms of the cards, it can be easy to handle. Okay, you can change the order. It is easy to change. If the requirements change, you can just remove that card, or even it is easy to organize. So students, today we have studied the second phase in the requirements. Okay, and that is the topic today we have considered is requirements, elicitation and analysis. So I'll be sending PDF of this. Okay, I hope you will be able to